Another awesome coupling with a group of instruments or a group of sounds is filtering. And I really think there's two different ways of looking at filtering groups, sort of creatively as an effect or more as a tool. And I use them both equally as much, if that makes any sense. I use them absolutely loads throughout just about any mix. And I think that when I'm filtering creatively, I tend to use resonant filters, multi-mode filters. And when I'm filtering using it as a tool, I use probably filters that are built into equalizers. So I've actually soloed out the vocals in this. I say vocals, but they're probably more like a pad sound. And I think that they're really a prime target for creative filtering. And I've just got the auto filter at the end of the chain. There's a load of stuff on it, just compression and equalization, stuff like that. I think that sounds like this, sustained sounds, work particularly well with resonant filters. So let's play it back. Sort of like a choir, vocaloid thing. It's completely sustained and melodic. Now you can see that I've added resonance already. I've turned this fatness up. Now what that does is, if I've got loads of resonance on, it won't destroy the lower frequencies. Often with resonant filters, as you turn the resonance up, you get a peak, and of course you lose some frequency response, so you lose some low end and possibly high end. This fatness mode is like the fat mode in the ES2, and it will allow you to filter with high resonance values and not lose any low end, and also not lose any volume. So you're going to lose volume when you turn the resonance up because you get this peak. So there's no reduction in low end and high end, and there's no reduction in volume. So it compensates all of those things. So if I take it out, it immediately sounds quieter. We've lost low end. So it's sort of very distant. Take the resonance out. You hear it sounds fuller, it sounds louder. The resonance just destroys it, but we put the fatness mode in and it goes back. So it's the same as it being without any resonance, but with the resonance dialed in, so you get the best of both worlds. Then I've added some cutoff modulation, and this is just a synced 1/8 note LFO. But I had very small amounts, so and it's also got distortion, so you could put a touch of distortion on the input. Get some great effects out of it. And then let's listen to it in the mix. But you can see that this sort of creative filtering across an entire group like this can work extremely well and give you just the tool you need to really make it gel with your track. It really feels like you're using a synth. So what's the alternative? I was talking about using an EQ as a filter. Now, when I do this, this is really non-resonant. So, I'm not using it as an effect so much. I would use quite a harsh high pass, for instance, and just knock it in and just automate. So moving up the build, you can almost reduce the volume of it, but while leaving it in the mix. So this sort of thing is really useful not only for synths and vocals, but awesome on drums and bass. If you put this across the whole drum and bass group, if you put them both into a group, you can just completely tweak the bottom end out of the rhythm track and just completely alter the feel of the track, coming up to builds and coming out of builds. So there's really the two ways I see filtering. I see it as a creative effect and as a tool, and both equally useful on groups. In the final chapter of this course, I'm just going to give you some technique and workflow tips to wrap everything up and help you use the skills that you've learned across the course.